All right. Welcome to Superhero Spoiler Show. I'm your host, Jesse Frick Galaxy, and I have a couple of friends with me today. Bringing in Larry, the legend, the one and only. And
cheers, mate.
Cheers. Soon to be convention buddy, and I've got my collab buddy here, Agents of Marc.
How's it going?
Dude, I'm digging the jam. Digging the jam.
I found, I think they just added background music with no royalties or whatever. So
oh, really? To StreamYard? Cool.
To StreamYard. So, yeah, those just joining us. And if you stream yourself, I think very cool addition to all the banners. You know, I'm paying a premium to be able to, you know, I don't have the OBS thing, so I just use the StreamYard thing. And I think with all the TikTok videos and all that stuff, you know, you should be able to drop music into like that and queue up videos and not have like duo systems. So that just happened as I cracked a beer. Cheers, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Cheers.
Oh, I should go get one real quick.
Well,
if you want to grab a beer.
I'm going on theme tonight.
Blue Moon Night.
Yes. I don't know if I can get that close.
Yeah, why not?
Well, we decided, Troy, you need to come to Chicago now.
I heard the news when you announced that. I was like, oh, good for you.
I'm going, man. I'm going. And it's because I felt like I missed out so much. I just like...
Yep, FOMO. Larry had the FOMO for
I had the FOMO.
And
capital F, capital OMO.
From Bricks Cascade, which, I mean, for everyone, it's like the, and other events, you know, sporting events are getting larger, music concerts are coming back, and things seem to be happening again, so.
And it was the 10-year anniversary of the event too, which made it just a little bit more special.
Very cool. Very cool.
Probably some better gift bags and bricks and people, and you know, they're officially announcing that Boone is moving to Denmark to be a Lego designer. It's on Lego's page now.
That is
so we're gonna
cool for him. I don't know if I would do that. Would you do that?
It depends. Yeah,
then play turns into work, and
I would give it a shot for Lego. I did it for Brickmania. Gave it a couple years, and you know, I'd do it again. The engineering field I can always go back to.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's
so
good. I asked Moto the same question. He's like, nah, I just couldn't, because it's, you know, I mean, you know, it's relocating to another country.
Yeah, you got the family. It's a whole another situation. I can make the decision for myself. I'm ready for a change actually right about now, so I would probably go. Who knows what'll happen? Got connections, you know. I just, you know, the 2 years of virtual hugs and meeting people have been quite the networking. So now with people like Boone that I have, you know, met now, and not that I know him greatly, but he knows who I am, kind of thing. So I feel like if he's there and he knows me to a certain degree, there's the foot in the door, or the crack, you know, the door's cracked, kind of thing. So yeah, a Lego job would be kind of the dream job.
It kind of interests me how many people that they've hired from the conventions, from the community. Because you got Boone, you had Aaron, and you had Marc, I believe his name was. He used to be part of Brickfest. live.
Mm.
So those 3 individuals they've hired in the last handful of years.
Yeah, it's tighter than like I was watching Doc did a video on Fazoom, and I didn't know Fazoom has a Lego space set with his name on the
I
box.
had seen that before.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's that past generation too that are still in the game. I mean, he's always been in the game, but yeah, it's a big world, but small. The 6 degrees of separation get pretty tight. The Lego community is pretty tight. So
yeah, I think one of the things I am looking forward to the most is meeting people in real life. Meeting you, meeting Mel, meeting.
Yes.
I mean, I already met Reed because he came from here, but
Yes.
like TJ and Bricklock, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And it just not to be on a stream talking specifically Lego, but chilling.
Yeah. We
grabbing a
want to
beer,
chill. We want to
hanging out,
spread some mayo.
Mayo.
Somebody say mayo. Hey Johnny G, what's happening? Yeah, we're
either
talking
either
about,
of you guys going to Brick World Chicago?
yeah, anybody in the chat? Naomi's here. Hey, Brickanista, are you going to Chicago? I think you travel a little bit, but we are definitely targeting. I could go to Nebraska to Brick Days. That's coming up at the end of the month, but I got Chicago. I think 2 a year is plenty, especially with vacations and doing special mocks and trying to not overload. So have a good time, and then.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, especially if you were traveling. I've actually got we have a Comic-Con, a Fan Expo Comic-Con, 2 weeks after Chicago. So it's nice thing is I can build a lot of stuff that I can show at both places, so it's not going to be too crazy. Although that being said, I've already committed to there's like 2 different collabs that I'm going to do for the Comic-Con that we need to get working on. Plus, now that I've decided on Chicago, I'm like, I got to bring something.
That's the
I can bring this and this, and I'm like, I can bring this and this and this and this. I got to build this and this though.
That's quite the task. 2 collabs in one.
Oh, at the same time. One of them is small. One of them is just a 32 by 32 base plate, where we build out this long text of it says like Denver Fan Expo with CalLug 22, because CalLug is kind of the liaison. Although I really want to talk. It's like, because we've changed management and it's not the same thing that we used to do, I'd love to get it so that we could get both lug names in the thing. But anyway, so it's a 32 by 32 base plate. The letters are on top, but underneath you build like 3 stories of whatever you want to build. So you build like you could do 3 stories of the Avengers Tower, or you could do anything under the letters in any kind of a fandom that you want to do. So I might do some kind of an anti-hero. I'm not sure.
Anti-hero.
That'd be cool.
This guy.
Well, DP. We've got Brickanista going to Bricks by the Bay. She's on the West Coast, so that makes sense. Troy, that's your neck of the woods too. I know it's like still a full day's drive, but could be done. She also says Abner and Beyond the Brick are the only people I know who go to all the conventions. If anyone has
Who is Abner?
Abner.
Who's Abner?
Is actually in my lug. He's from.
Oh, no
Minnesota.
kidding!
Yeah, he's well known as basically retired, and he doesn't really build, but he goes to every single Lego convention.
Really?
So he's just like Beyond the Brick is definitely more official with reviews and stuff.
That's their job. That's what they do.
Yeah,
that's their purpose for being.
It's way more casual with Abner. It's just his retired life. what's going on there. All right. So, he's actually from Minnesota, so he's in my lug, and I still don't even see him like there. I see him at conventions more than I see him in local events. But he's pretty cool. He just goes to all the shows and hangs out. Johnny G. Let's talk comics, though. I've got some comics that I got from Mike's buddy, or Larry's buddy Mike. Finally came through with some Moon Knight. And
Jesse bought all the Moon Knight comics.
I still need to read them, but
he did buy them in packs. He sold them in 2 packs of what, like a dozen each or something.
Yeah, I got like a dozen comics for a couple bills, but
Moon Knight and Punisher. I want to read that one.
This got the cover art.
Ooh, that does sound good. Moon Knight and Punisher.
I got doubles of that, so like. I had to buy both packs, but I knew I was getting 2 of certain things. And
that's okay.
I have not read these yet, but this is way down the line. Reed Richards' son, Franklin Richards, and the battle.
Wow, that's cool. That is cool.
That's crazy.
I know. Jesse's got the FF fandom going on. He's gonna want to read that one.
Yeah, probably will keep. Going in hard with what's on the back there? Oh, just toys. So I already had number 3. That one I had.
Okay.
But I think I filled in the gap, and now I have number 4.
Very nice.
And 5 and 6 and 7. So that's kind of cool from the old 50 centers. I've got these from the first line.
And that was circa early 80s, I think, right? Or late 70s? It's probably not going to say on the cover, but
probably early 80s.
Yeah.
It might be, it's probably early 80s. Anyway, I got a stack of comics that I need to. They're from my judgment, $1 to $2, $3 comics or something like that. $3 maybe. Some of the newer ones, of course, cover price for at least that.
Mm-hmm. But or if you've got what you see on your background there, numbers 1 and 2, those things were worth nothing. They were like. You find them in the 50-cent boxes, and now they're like $500 each.
Yeah, I wanted to get that one. Mike was selling the comics that I have in the thumbnail behind us are Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night, number 32 and 33, the 2-part story.
I'm glad you brought that around, because in this episode, we get QR codes that appear next to containers in the show. And I didn't do it, but I
did it. I totally did it. I read the comic. I did. And I learned something really cool that I will share later.
Nice. All right. So the QR code takes you to the comic book or some information.
Yeah, basically you scan it. It takes you to the Marvel Comics website, and you get a free comic. Oh, I'm sorry. 1972. It's right on the cover there.
Well, that's 72. Okay.
Yeah, 1972. So that is issue 33. So here's what I'm thinking they're going to do. There's going to be a QR code in each episode. There was a QR code in the first one that we didn't know about because it was really, really small. It was not until they pointed it out in this episode because it was like focused on the locker number.
Yeah.
And so you scan it with your, take your phone up to your TV, scan it, and you get a free comic book to read digitally. But in episode 1, next to the sarcophagus, is also a QR code that gives you a link to issue 32, the first appearance of Moon Knight.
All right.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So just, off the bat, since we haven't dived into the episode too much, Werewolf by Night is, obviously supernatural, kind of werewolf man.
Do you know where he comes from? We might just get right to what I was going to say.
From Marvel, I would say let's go with this thread.
So his origin, he got his werewolfness. He gets transferred into or transforms into a werewolf because he just turns 18, and his dad was cursed with the werewolfism, and he got the curse from the Darkhold. Bum bum
man.
bum,
Dude.
I know, right?
Every time I hear that, and I swear I'm going to say it on the stream because I got to beat somebody else to the punch, I'm going to Lego mock a life-size Darkhold book. Something like it, whatever works for the artwork, you know. I'll need to spell out Darkhold, like either spell out Darkhold like they did in Agents of Mock, because I think you could do it with the dots things now, or do the Scarlet Witch version, Doctor Strange version. That I guess it should. Who did Scarlet Witch? Yeah, it was from WandaVision.
Yeah, so in WandaVision, the last episode, she takes the Darkhold from Agatha Harkness, and that's what you see at the very end when she's doing the seance and reading it. And supposedly in Multiverse of Madness, they're in the temple that holds the Darkhold.
One of these
that's what they're hypothesizing anyway.
One of these comics said something about the Darkhold too, and it was one of the newer ones. Anyway.
So Werewolf by Night, the werewolf comes from the Darkhold, so it links to that. I'm kind of crossing my fingers that we're going to get some kind of a werewolf sometime in these 6 episodes, although I think maybe they've just done it with the Jackal. Maybe we're getting that Jackal as the... Because that Jackal actually looks a lot like Professor Lupin from Harry Potter when he's in werewolf form. Very long, spindly legs and a long, elongated snout. So I don't know. Maybe they're paying homage to the werewolf by doing the Jackal.
All right, let's throw the big spoiler warning out there.
They don't know by now. Get out.
I don't know why you would come to a spoiler show. And
it's in the name.
About the show. So we're gonna spoil threads like Larry's talking about that go right back to the comics and Darkhold and the MCU at large. And I will try to keep us on track on covering the episode as far as like a breakdown scene by scene. Maybe I jump to some videos. So Johnny G's jumping right into it. Let's keep talking about that Jackal scene because I think talking about the cool stuff in the beginning of the episode is a way to go. The Jackal on the spike, and right before that, Johnny, I really liked the Moon Knight. So my favorite part was him running from rooftop to rooftop, kind of Batman style.
Totally.
That was literally the only thing I remembered through the entire episode. Unfortunately.
There was a lot of dialogue and stuff, so it's tough to. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and that's why I want them to be more than 6 episodes. Because you have to have the establishment of some stuff, be it with a guy with 2 personalities, his wife, and our bad guy Arthur. I mean, we got to have some meat.
Yeah.
But
I get it. I'm just saying,
But I want more action too.
On its own, it
was.
Oh, could have been more.
It likes the rooftop chase scene too. Yeah. Oh, and the zoot suit.
The zoot suit.
That's funny.
Nice. I asked Mike, I'm like, what do I need to know about Mr. Knight? He's like, I don't know. I'm like,
don't worry.
Dude.
I've only seen a tidbit that I think the guy that invented this Mr. Knight in the comic books as more of a professional hitman or something. They're giving the suit to Stephen Grant in this, and it's basically he's not that professional yet. So I hope to see the zoot suit again, and Stephen Grant's persona be able to actually do a little better with skills.
Cool. Well, I want to say a lot, but you go, Jesse. Go.
I'm letting the
you got notes.
I'm letting the chat kind of prod us along because we have some good comments from Brickanista and Johnny. He was so Batman, and the Boomerang Crescent Moon. So yeah, let's jump into a quick rundown of one of the action scenes right then, because I got it queued up on this other guy's video. And let me know if you want to hit pause, but we'll get to that bus, and then maybe we could talk about that. But there is the
superhero landing when he just falls over. That was so awesome.
And I can
loves me a superhero landing.
I gotta back it up again, see if I can pause it on. Darn it, where's the thing?
I just love the lighting in this scene too. It is just screams comic book to me, with the accented highlights and everything.
There we go, Larry. You called it. I was gonna say this episode number 2 is called "Summon the Suit," and this is they were telling him just put the suit on, and he puts this different suit on. He's like, it's a suit.
He's like, suit. I'm just like, how is he conscious after slamming his face on that metal bar on the way down? I just love it.
I like that the reflection is also the suit, but it's Marc Spector.
But it's Marc in the suit. That's so great. I just
like, why didn't
these little elements of this show are just, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think the mirrors, the reflections, it gives you this crazy perspective, split personality thing. And this is what I kind of want to do with like a Lego mock too. I'll spoil it again, but I want to do the fake mirror thing, and have 2 guys.
Oh, that would be cool.
With the no mirror, but do 2 different builds, and so I'll throw that out there. So here we get a little Fight Club scene.
And I'll tell you what, when she throws the bottle and get the liquid, that looks more like a crocodile mouth than a jackal.
There.
Yeah. Well, and I think he gets the confidence after he grabs the bumper and just crushes it in his hand, and all of a sudden he's got some superhuman strength.
Superhuman strength, yep. Superhero landing, glowy eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, cinematography is great. So far, so good, actually. I thought maybe it was going to slow down a little more. Oh, that thing? Yeah, there's the ears. Okay, I can see it now. It's just got that
doesn't
weird
that look
hair.
like Lupin? It looks like Lupin, a Lupin-style werewolf to me.
Yeah, there's the bus in the background.
All right, if we ever get a view of the top of the bus, you got to pause.
I think it's going to go back to the bus. No, maybe not. There's Layla. So we get to see Layla in this episode. Let's go back to my rundown. So, from the episode, he wakes up, he jumps out of bed. Basically, we hear the sounds of that bathroom scene, and he talks to the mirror, and the mirror doesn't talk back.
Yeah.
So he's
that was really interesting to me. The first thing he does is he wants to talk to Marc. He wants to know what the F, dude. So that was different because it was a new thing.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get along, and I hate to. It might be too confusing, but I hope we get the third personality too. Right? It's like they start to work together.
I'm really curious about that.
And then there's still something that like is missing from their memory, but I don't know if I can pull because I haven't watched this guy's review yet. Oh boy. So he goes back to the museum, basically. He wakes up and he goes back to work after that bathroom scene. And he talks to the guard. Hey, there's a plumbing problem.
Larry, the maintenance guy. Don't think I didn't catch that.
He's like,
Larry's always got to be the maintenance guy. the cable guy.
Is he Larry? No.
Yeah. Well, he says Larry the maintenance guy was pissed. That's what he said, or something like that. It was Larry the maintenance guy. I'm like, oh, come on. Why do all the Larrys have to be the maintenance guy? Anyway.
After the security footage is reviewed, we see that Steven is there, and this is where we can have these supernatural discussions because they don't appear on videotape. The Egyptian jackal, or the dog, as he briefly called it, the dog was chasing me, I swear. And
the Hound of the Baskervilles.
It doesn't appear, and then later in that footage, where they're fighting, when he's fighting in the zoot suit, he looks like he's fighting himself or something, or on drugs. People are watching and like,
yeah, and that's a good point, because I didn't realize that you couldn't see what Steven sees until the fight later, when you show that, oh, okay, only Steven, Marc, or whoever can see the jackal. Even Layla doesn't see the jackal, even though she's fighting the jackal. But I was like, okay, is it just like, is somebody manipulating the cameras, or is the camera just not seeing the jackal? But now we know we can't see the jackal because...
No, yeah, the camera doesn't.
Only Steven can see it.
Here's more of that scene where we'll see if it gets to the bus here, or where it takes us. Like, drags him up over the car. And there's that scene. Yep, she can barely see it when water's on it or whatnot, right? There's the end scene. Boy, there's better graphics there. I don't remember the head being that visible before. I mean, he's got the toner like dialed really far up. So this is dialogue driven for the most part, where Stephen Grant and Marc Spector are trying to figure out who's who and what's going on. After he gets fired from the art gallery,
sacked. They get sacked in London. Sacked, not fired.
I have my London accent. He's asked to leave. He goes, talks to the gold statue guy, gives him a hug, and he broke character a little bit. That
he did. Because he's like, "Why are you hugging me, dude? You're weird."
Yeah, he just gave him a little side eye. It was funny. And then we're off to the London storage. So the central London storage has this number 43 key, where he has the key and he doesn't know the number, but the guard remembers his face and takes him right to the locker. And it's a little convenient, but believable. It's like, oh, hey, I see you all the time. And he needs help, though. It's kind of awkward, but that's where we see the QR code on the front of this locker, like a storage unit. Like, it was a big one, like a nice,
oh yeah, it was
12 by 12 space.
It was sweet. He had a wardrobe, he had his bed, he had
he had a cot, he had like army supply store stuff, supplies, there was a bag of money and a passport and a gun. And the passport says Marc Spector, so we get the last name finally, and
it's a U.S. passport.
Okay, so we get American Marc. So that'll be a good tie-in to him coming to the MCU with more team-ups sometime probably not in this miniseries, but since Marc Spector is American,
right,
we could see him teaming up. Anyway, the Scarab is in there. It's kind of all about the Scarab right now. The Scarab he activates it, and it floats up, and it acts like a compass to find the tomb of Amit.
Zizu, welcome.
Zizu here?
You're here for this. If you haven't watched it, you don't have to watch it now.
Here for spoilers. All right. That's what we're here to do. Talking about the whole show.
I liked the conversation he has with Marc against the not mirror walls, but just highly reflective steel walls or whatever, which I've never seen in any storage unit I've ever seen. But hey, it's a nice storage unit. What can you say? Hey, dude, Jude. He's having that. I think the best line of that whole thing is, "I don't care how bloody handsome you are." I've
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're talking to yourself. But it also kind of alludes to, Steven is all of a sudden he's building up a confidence a little bit. I've seen, so he does not have a good self image. I think they've established in the way that stupid woman Donna talks to him at the museum.
Yeah.
But you see him, recognize that he's a handsome guy when he's not Steven, he's Marc. But then later on, when he finally stands up to the jackal and he's floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, and he fights the invisible dog. I think that's kind of neat. But also, and there's a couple of times when he in the storage unit when he's standing up to Marc. Specifically, he says, "I'm not letting you have control ever again."
Yeah,
and he repeats that later, which is foreshadowing to the very end of the episode, which we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, well, Marc maybe gets the control.
Mm-hmm.
Here is that number. Let's try it out.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Dude,
here.
Try it out. It's cool.
So if I put my
you
phone
get the whole comic too,
and then it goes to a bitty loot site, something Marvel Comics.
I think mine's too blurry.
That's as big as I can make it for you.
Let's see. Hold on.
But you can figure it out on your own.
No worries.
It's taken a bit to load up, but I did get the Marvel site on my phone. And read a free Moon Knight comic. Okay, now the pictures are populating.
Work now.
Start your free trial and read a free Moon Knight. So.
Oh, you have to make an account? Of course you do.
Of course. Episode 1, Werewolf by Night, number 32. Very cool. So that works. So that's really
neat.
What do you call that? That's a deep cut,
That's a nice fan service right there.
I mean, talk about an Easter egg, like a real Easter egg. You actually pause the video and QR code that thing.
Yeah.
Johnny G's got the same thing. Yeah, no way. It works. And we can play a little bit of this video because he surfs from the storage unit, getting in from the video I have. I just steal video. Sorry. Here's that gear and the reflection that Larry's talking about. You can barely see in the and then there's his United States passport.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. That comes.
And I think they said that the birth date on there was actually was Oscar Isaac's actual birth date too. I think I heard that on like New Rock Stars or something.
Ah. It's like, dang, they went that deep in figuring that information out.
Yeah. So,
I guess
so he takes this scarab and activates it, and it's like a compass to him. He doesn't use it quite yet, but he gets chased down the hallway, and I thought it was really clever the way they flickered the lights and had Khonshu chasing him out of the storage unit.
That's something I was thinking about mocking up, but creating like an infinity mirror in that storage space be kind of cool.
Yeah. He hits the streets running, and Layla's right there conveniently on a scooter, who happens to be his wife. He gets on the scooter.
Super convenient.
Yeah.
Way too convenient. I hate that.
This is the episode where they're telling you a bunch of answers, like almost
too much exposition, but I hate exposition with ridiculous coincidence. I mean, yes, she explained I tracked your phone, but she's going to show up on the street when he falls flat on his face right in front of her. No, I'm gonna pull out my Doc. I'm gonna channel my inner Doc Samson and say no.
It wouldn't happen like that. Come on now. What do you think, Troy? He takes Layla to the flat, and they talk in French and read hieroglyphics, and some divorce papers come out. They have some history. Are you buying that story? It's, I mean, Steven is denying it the whole way. Like,
oh yeah, totally. I mean, he's got to have some idea, like, for how many times that she called him on the cell phone. You would expect him to have some idea of who she is,
right?
You know, there's some kind of relationship there that he knows about already. But I don't know. I guess maybe his emotions got the best of him. That's all I got.
I think it's totally subconscious. I think he has no awareness except, you brought up the French poetry. That's his subconscious connection to Layla. I mean, I think because he doesn't know who Marc is, he's a total loser that works in a gift shop. That's this alter ego that's been either created. I'm really wanting to get to the point where it's like, who's the real personality? Is it Marc? Is it Steven? Is it somebody else? And how? Because Steven was talking to his mother. Layla addresses, "Oh, you're talking to your mother again." And he's like, yeah. But he wasn't talking to her. He was leaving her messages. So it's like this Fight Club thing that I'm wondering about. It's like, is Steven this created split? Was Steven created by Marc X number of time ago to hide who he really is, and he somehow, and it seems like Khonshu is not part of this, because when Khonshu says the idiot's in charge now and he's always complaining, it doesn't seem like Khonshu is like the cause of it. Like Khonshu said, okay, Marc, we're going to hide you by splitting your personality. I think, and again, this is going to come up later. Steven, I think Steven is the created personality, and the important things to Marc, like Layla, are manifesting themselves through stuff like maybe his love of Egypt comes from Layla, and his interest in studying hieroglyphics comes from Layla. His favorite French poet is not his originally; it's Layla, but it's all subconscious. He doesn't have a conscious awareness of who she is, or who Marc is, or what he really does. Okay, see, I'm right. Yes, I love being right. That's my theory, but I also thought that what's his name was Quicksilver from the X-Men. So what do I know?
What else is Zizu is saying that the mother is Marc's way of catching up on. Yeah, so I think that's true also, Zizu. Marc set up a phone number of a fake mother for him to call so he could keep tabs on his own personality. I don't know. That's so... What? I'm getting lost now. Oh, I'm trying to read the other comments. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I don't think you're supposed to. We're only 2 episodes in.
Yeah. He's definitely a broken person that I believe died, and then Kanju saved him, and he owes a debt to be the avatar of Kanju, the Fist of Vengeance, and the split personality thing, dual personality, identity disorder came with, unbeknownst to Kanju, probably came with it. And he threatens to possibly leave him for the next person he has in mind, which is Layla. So I don't know that Layla's an imaginary friend, but they're not, I mean, she's here, but when the police come to the door, she's gone. So there is something to that. The idiot is here. Oh my gosh. So, all right, let's get back on track. The police knock on the door. They search the place. They arrest him. They are not who they say they are. They take him right to Arthur Harrow, who's listening in on a radio device as he left alone to talk to himself, further solidifying his craziness to Harrow. And the voices in his head, and Arthur Harrow tells him that he used to be Kanju's avatar too, and used to see him and understands all the things he's saying about I am real justice and being the fist of vengeance. Whereas Arthur has graduated to this crazy level of cult leader, being an avatar, the first avatar of Amit, and trying to cast out evil from the root before any evil is done, pre-evil cleanup. So pretty crazy. It's very Minority Report. We've said that before. They go through this bad neighborhood that he cleaned up, and it's all cult members. And there's little shakings around of Kanju appearing and disappearing. And
one thing I noticed, some of the henchmen had their tattoo upside down. The 2 cops had their tattoos with the crocodile heads closer to their wrist than the bottom of the scale, but that was the opposite of the way Arthur has his. The bottom of the scale points towards his wrist, so I'm wondering if there's a significance to that, or if it's just is it a mistake, or is there a purpose to it? If you're a henchman, it's upside down because you don't actually have the power that Arthur has. But it was something I noticed.
Sorry, I'm just trying to read the comments too. Unless do you also, Larry?
Oh yes, Brigadier. I was going to talk about that.
I don't know what priest she's talking about. Are we coming to that part, Larry? Leading us through the show here to get to the actions coming up. Some discussion about curing and diseases, and disease being part of the cure, and the cane. So we see the cane kind of go into power, and the sliver of this Emmett power makes a portal to release a jackal.
Mm-hmm. But so right before that, he does make this comment about, he's talking about all the voices, because he when Khonshu is speaking to Stephen, as Stephen is talking to Arthur, and Arthur is explaining he used to be his avatar.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, is he telling you to kill me? Is he telling you, like verbatim? And Stephen asks Arthur, can you hear him? but he says no. And he's talking about the voices, and he knows. So Arthur is aware that Steven is hearing Marc and he's hearing Khonshu, and he's saying, "Oh, it's tough having all those voices in your head." And is that the cause? Is that going to break you, or were you already broken? I'm like, ooh, does Khonshu choose broken people? So I'm hoping we explore that again in the multi-personality thing, which, by the way, Oscar Isaac's just doing such a great job.
Yeah. Wow, how amazing. All right, so we're getting to it. Summon the suit. Layla appears.
Don't forget the purple magic. Don't forget the color. Purple magic.
Purple magic is on the cane.
Agatha Harkness has purple magic. So the arcane, Darkhold, purple magic is the bad stuff. I think that's on purpose.
Darkhold. If I fast forward through what I'm believing, a huge revelation that Amid may not be, at least it's what they want to do, but when they get there at the end of the show, my theory would be right now that that Marc Spector and Moon Knight fails, and they release this Emmett, but it's not Emmett. It's
Who?
Lilith.
And oh my gosh.
And then we get Midnight Suns. Yeah.
We'll see.
Tangents. So it's
Mephisto.
It's not the same person, but they go and they're like, this person is sleeping in a tomb, and that's exactly what Lilith is doing. She's in a Leviathan and waiting to be released, and there's this scarab, and maybe they read the hieroglyphics wrong, and they're all just rushing to release this demigod, and they get one, but it might be or it might look like Lilith and be a combination of Lilith, and there we get Lilith is like the whole reason we have a Rise of the Midnight Suns, and the Ghost Rider and Moon Knight and Blade and a few other characters all team up versus this deity. Iceberg's here. What's up? Summon the suit. Summon the suit. I think you liked this episode, Mel. What are your comments? What is your favorite moment / worst moment, I guess,
And why haven't you joined us?
And why aren't you here in person? So we're almost to the cool part. Yeah, summon the suit. He falls out the window. And he
smashes his face on the pole going down. Dude, it's like, I hope the suit was like in the process of making you superhuman, because you just knocked all your teeth out.
Man. And we get and we don't get Khonshu, and ancient armor, Marc Spector. We get Stephen Grant in a zoot suit with a crazy mask, which is kind of ripping off the comics, because I think this guy from the comics, Mr. Knight, is more like a terrorist for real and knows what's going on.
Is he a bad guy?
Still need to read my comics. He's another personality of I don't think he's Jake Lockney. He's just another personality.
Is he like when Wolverine became Patch? Did you read that storyline where he went to Madripoor and he was Patch? He was a different character, and he was more of he was in the gangster world, mafia world. I don't know. I have no information. I don't know who Mr. Mask is. I don't know the storyline. I tried to get some help, so we need some help from the chat.
Anyway,
Mel's stuck at work. I'm sorry, Mel. Hey, Mel, I got just a small tangent. I'll see you in Chicago, brother. I'm coming to Brick World, Chicago.
Larry's excited.
I'm excited. Back to the story. Who is Mr. Knight?
Mr. Knight. It's different, the MCU does sometimes they just twist things a little different, and they're, I think, going for a really big different angle on this guy, and I hope it pays off. We talked about that invisible jackal fight and the boxing. He's like sting like a float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Steven with a V.
That was hilarious. I loved it.
Chi-town, Larry's coming.
It's Chi-town, brother.
He gets hit by a car right after the bus. So I don't know what you want to say about the bus.
Well, the top of the bus, it says
some sort of Easter egg there.
There's you know how buses and police cars, they have the serial number, they have an identification number on the top. It says WBN 0032. So Werewolf by Night, issue 32. It's the first appearance of Moon Knight. It's it's the typical license plate Marvel Easter egg stuff.
Cool. All right, so we get Zoot Suit Steven giving in and let Marc Spector take control, and immediately the suit changes. So
I love seeing the armor that's underneath that then gets covered by the linen wrappings.
Yeah. Look at how many I think in the comics he's got even more crazy identity problems, like a dozen people living in there or something crazy. Fighting for control.
There's like a Buzz Lightyear Moon Knight up in the upper left. What's that about?
Anyway, he takes out the jackal, and there's the scene Johnny P likes. Boom. Impaled. Wow, look at that. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
The Egyptian jackal that nobody else can see disappears. He catches the crescent moon that Brickanista liked, and we get topped off a kind of a slow run, but a good action at the end is kind of the formula they're setting up. Really is he wakes up and you're in the middle of something, you got to figure it out, and they spell it out for you, and then boom, they hit us with costume stuff at the end of the episode.
So I was really hoping to see in this episode the Marc Spector version of what happened on the road in the mountains of the Alps.
Oh, I don't know that we'll see that.
We might not, and I mean, we understand what it is. I just think it would be really cool to see the flip flop of it. To see Mark, it
would.
But what I want to know is
budget says, let's just do this, and then we don't have to do all this.
But what I want to know, because those are such quick scene transitions, is Marc Spector doing the fighting, or is it Moon Knight doing the fighting? Is Marc Spector just a badass, Mission Impossible spy guy, or is he coming in and out of Moon Knight fighting these guys in the cupcake truck? I don't know. Maybe the world may never know.
The world may never know. Well,
so Zizou, no, they changed his character a bit because they wanted to get away from the Bruce Wayne trope with Steven. In the comics, Steven is a billionaire, so they altered his character for the show.
Yeah. And I like it. I think it's good. It's funny. It gives it a little humor, and
yeah, I thought it was a good change.
And I think we got at least one more Jake Lockweeny. Something's going to go wrong, and they're going to have to both rely on some other guy to take them through a cab drive. Who knows? He's the driver. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool shots of Kanju in this episode, and
very cool.
It'll probably go to a scene that I don't want to get to. I'm hoping this ends with the Egypt thing.
So he pulls out his his crescent moon boomerang things, But they're like, he's got like an unlimited supply off his chest. They're like magical.
Yeah. Well, it's supernatural powers, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a whole new world in the MCU, and this is almost the first we're seeing of it. You might say Dane Whitman with the end of Eternals and the Black Knight powers being precursor kind of story to prelude to supernatural stuff.
Honestly, I was hoping to see more bow staff stuff with him. Honestly,
well, when he pulled out his two little, you know, I'm thinking of like Mockingbird and Daredevil.
Yeah.
With the two sticks.
Right.
He pulled those out and then he put them away. I'm like, come on, man, let's see some stuff.
Because with the boomerang, it was more or less. It reminded me instantly of Captain America's shield, and more or less because it comes straight back to him.
Right.
So it's kind of like something we've already seen before, but the bow staff not so much because Khonshu has that staff, right, with the crescent moon on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could have easily summoned that somehow.
So in Werewolf by Night 32 and 33, that the QR codes were for, Moon Knight's weapons are all made of silver, which help him in his battle against the werewolf, obviously. But like his crescent, he has his crescent daggers. He has like you know, they're kind of like brass knuckles, although they're kind of built into his gloves. They're also made of silver, so every time he's hitting the werewolf, it's causing more damage. But that was kind of an early thing of Moon Knight. And Moon Knight was a mercenary for hire in those comics. He was there to bring the werewolf in for this crime syndicate people, and he ends up getting paid at the end, even though I'm going to spoil a 1972 comic here. I hope it's okay. I hope, since the comic's been out for
get a graphic
40 years.
Yeah, where's your spoiler warning?
It's a typical, you know, you got two bad guys fighting each other because they don't know they're both bad guys, and Moon Knight releases the werewolf at the end because he realizes who the real bad guys are. But at the end, he's sitting on the edge of a building counting his cash. So,
all right, hold on.
Yep, that'd be 50 years. Thanks, Mel.
Spoiler alert ticker.
There we go. Nice. 1973.
1972.
Thank you, Mel.
I know Mel's here, and we have.
Jesse and I were less than a year old.
Mel had some comic books, and we'll have to cross reference what comics he received, Mel, and where he got them from. Let me go back to the comments. Let me get rid of it.
I want you to know, Mel, I prepared Mike.
I got two of these. If you need
but
number one.
He sold most of them to Jesse already. So
I think this is number 2, newer run of Moon Knight, and then this is kind of cool, crossing over
Casualties of War. Oh, yeah,
Civil War stuff. A couple issues from that run, and then really cool artwork, though, man. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
You know, you half the price on buying these comics for the artwork, so
yeah,
paid off already.
Good stuff.
And that's kind of almost like the Mr. Knight and the craziness, and really cool. I have not read pop those out of the bag yet. I just kind of put them in order with what I already had with the old ones. You need the number 1. I got a couple duos of that one, and I got 3 of these darn number 5s.
Holy crap! If Mel doesn't want those, I'll take them.
And number 6, that's extra. So
send them to me. I'll pay for them.
I got some extras that are like just the old 50 centers. They're probably only worth $1. So if you guys want me to bring them to a show, and Iceberg wants to Cash App, I don't even know if it's worth the ship, Iceberg. But we should talk more Moon Knight next week when we have another episode, and maybe I'll have read some of these comics. Maybe will have not. I'm in the middle of a 5th week of a challenge, and can't wait to finish my grand idea here for the Brickmaster Challenge, and use all the pieces I have already used for 4 weeks into one big mock. So free shipping.
Good luck
right?
to you on that.
Thanks. Yeah. Just trying to do stuff for fun and a little publicity, and
Elias Spector. I think Marc Spector has a brother in the comics.
Yeah, the first episode had the good side.
That must be Elias.
Thanks for being here, everybody. We're up to 9 people watching. Wow. Thanks, Iceberg. Thanks, Brickanista. Thanks, Zizu. Thanks, Johnny G. We had, if you're out there, say hello in the chat, and I'll give you a shout out.
That's a great question, Zizu.
Mayo?
Don't know.
Jude?
Don't know if the guy in the window is a different personality.
I think it's still.
You think it's still Mark?
Mark. I think when he puts the zoot suit on, it's Steven's personality with the powers. Right.
He's talking about at the very end, the guy with the bottle of booze in Egypt. Oh. Is that Mark or is that someone else?
Yeah, I think that's Mark. Mark said he's not letting go.
I'm kind of thinking that's the case too. And yeah, that goes back to the foreshadowing about Steven saying, I'm never giving you control again. Well, now you're stuck. Now you're the man in the mirror. Man in the mirror.
All right. That's a wrap. We hit the hour mark and killed all the spoilers for that show, unless you guys have any other sidebar comments or anything else you want to talk about.
I just want to know what it was that changed, as Mark said, because Mark was talking. Because when Mark had control and Steven was in the mirror, and he's telling him about how, you have to use all your will just to be a fly on the wall. He said, but something changed. What changed?
Moon Knight. We need some more Moon Knight Lego. I agree, John G. We'll find out, Larry. I
yes, we
don't have the answers. I have a big, crazy my Mosquito theory for the end of the show is the Lilith reveal. And I'm going to stick to that until I'm wrong, and that's okay.
It's not the craziest idea we've heard on these streams. I still think there's going to be 3 different versions of the Multiverse of Madness, but I'm only hanging on to that because if I'm right, it'll be great, and if I'm not, who cares?
Yes, we can touch on it briefly. The Doctor Strange trailer recently has some new footage with Doctor Strange with the third eye vision.
With the third eye. And a lot more Zombie Strange footage.
And I was not buying it. I thought it was just an evil Doctor Strange, but the new close-up CGI of Zombie Strange, I'll admit, definitely looks like a zombie version.
And I have heard that it's the Defender version. So we saw the non-zombified version of the Defender version of Doctor Strange. I'm just thinking we're going to get a whole bunch of Strange.
Looks like,
which can be taken multiple ways, but
a whole bunch of Strange.
Nothing like getting some Strange.
Oh my gosh.
And on that note, good night.
And on that note, you can tell this is a drink of beer and have some discussion, and we're at the end.
Have a good week, everybody.
I said thanks to everyone in the chat. I will thank the panel again. Larry, thank you. I will be seeing you soon in Chicago, and
you betcha.
we will be, until then, probably not collaborating, but things could change. It's a couple months out. And Troy, you want to pump up your show for tomorrow? What's happening on Mock Day Monday?
Yeah, Mock Day tomorrow at 6 p.m. Theme's going to be micro. We're going to have a special guest brickanista, Naomi, that's in the chat right now. She's going to be our guest tomorrow. So we're going to be talking micro, everything micro scale, micropolis, anything micro. So that's going to be the theme tomorrow. If you guys are into that, tune in. Should be a lot of fun.
I am. I may be doing some sort of grand challenge in a micro scale.
Hey. Well, if you got something to show already, hop on.
I can't show it off. It says don't spoil it. And they want to do an anonymous judging. So I don't know how I'm gonna.
If you could be there anyways.
I can't keep a lid on my mocks. It's just as soon as it looks presentable, I'm posting it. So.
Well, you don't have to show it.
If
you want to show up and just hang out and talk micro.
I have other Micropolis stuff, but I don't want to steal the show from Naomi. So I will be tuning in, folks listening. About this time tomorrow on Agents of Mock, go find Mock Day, and we will stay in touch until the next personality takes over from my beer stupor.